What is up, everybody? It is the Conservative Coin Collector, and a couple years back, I did a complete history of series. I went through the penny to the dollar coin, and I thoroughly, well, at least I thought I thoroughly, covered each and every coin. I'm going to redo the series, and there are coins that I didn't cover that I'm going to cover. I first cover the penny, nickel, dime, quarter, half dollar, and dollar coin. But what about the history of the half penny, or the 2-cent piece, or the 3-cent piece, or the half dime? I'm going to cover all of those, starting with the penny. There really isn't much in the way of the half penny, so that's going to be a short little video on its own. But since it's the most popular coin in America, I'm going to start with the penny again. The penny starts all the way back in 790 AD, but I'm not going to go back that far. I'm only going to go as far back as the American penny, because that's where I live, America, United States of America. I specialize in American and Canadian coins alike. So, I don't want to make this intro too long, because this is going to be a longer video. So, grab a popcorn, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab whatever, and continue to be entertained for the next how long this is going to take. You'll see it in the corner that shows you how long the video is. So, where am I going to start? I'm going to start with the Fugio cent. That is the first coin that, well, the first penny that America has ever minted. And the penny goes quite far back. Before I get into the content, I just want you to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon. And with that being said, let's get to the complete history of the penny. The Fugio cent. It was the first copper coins issued by the authority of the United States, where the Fugio cents was struck in 1787 by a private mint. This coin was 100% copper, and its composition would continue until the mid-1800s. Paul Revere, a noted blacksmith, supplied some of the copper for the 1-cent coins minted during the early 1790s. The legends of these coins have been credited back to Benjamin Franklin, and the coin, as a consequence, have sometimes been referred to as the Franklin cent, but also has been credited as the sundial, ring, and mind your business cent. A sundial is depicted on the obverse, which it has the sun above it, and the legends Fugio, which means I fly and mind your business. It's accompanied by the date 1787. The reverse features 13 connected chain links to represent the original states, with the legend of the United States and the motto, "We are one." The 1793 flowing hair cent. The U.S. Mint opened for full-time coin production in 1793, and the 1-cent coin was among the very first coins struck at the U.S. Mint that year. The U.S. Mint produced its first circulating coins, the copper cents, that were minted in late February 1793, with over 11,000 cents delivered March 1st, 1793. The first pennies were struck at the U.S. Mint, where they were made of pure copper, and they were much larger than the modern 1-cent coins that we are accustomed to today. They are called large cents, and they measured to nearly the diameter of a modern half dollar. They were 5 times heavier and almost 50% larger than its contemporary counterpart. These first cents were hand engraved in a laborious and time-consuming process. The obverse shows a youthful bust of a wild-haired Liberty, facing right with long flowing hair. The model Liberty is above with the date below. The reverse has a circular chain with 15 links representing the number of states in the Union, with the chain and its value 1 cent and 1/100, and the legend United States of America around its border. The Liberty Cap cent is the next coin to have been minted. It is one of the classics of early American copper coinage, and it was the third step in the infant Philadelphia Mint's quest for a permanent cent design. Succeeding the chain and wreath cents, it began the new decimal coinage in 1793. This version of the cent it came from Henry Voigt's talented colleague, Joseph Wright, who was a superb engraver. His Liberty design borrowed heavily from metal conceived by Benjamin Franklin, a metal, I should say, and it was struck at the Paris Mint in 1783. The Libertas Americana medal, engraved by Austin Dupre, and the obverse left Liberty bust design, had the Farragut cap behind her head, which was worn by freed slaves in ancient times. Joseph Wright and his wife succumbed to the effects of the almost annual yellow fever epidemics that plagued Philadelphia in mid-September 1793. Wright's original Liberty Cap bust was revised in 1794 by a new engraver named Robert Scott, who was hired in November 1793. Scott was commissioned as the first chief engraver of the United States Mint, and he was put there by Mint Director Rittenhouse. He was to replace the recently deceased Wright. Scott turned Liberty's face from the left to the right, so it conformed to the portrait on the cents. The 1793 head large cent employed new technology using a punch for Liberty's head and cap. It allowed faster and more consistent appearance. The Draped bust cent. It was minted from 1796 to 1807. At no other time in American history was the 1 cent coin as important as it was in the closing years of the 18th century. Although cumbersome, the large copper coins were useful for very small transactions, unlike the wide variety of foreign coins then in circulation. The Draped bust large cent first appeared in mid-1796 as a replacement to the former Liberty Cap design. The Draped bust design was given the name to a design of U.S. coins that appeared on much of the regular issue copper and silver in the United States from 1796 to 1807, designed by Robert Scott. Scott's new Draped bust design was modeled after a drawing by artist Gilbert Stuart. It depicts Liberty with a flowing hair, a ribbon behind her head, and drapery at her neckline. The inscription Liberty is above the bust, and the date down below. It features the denomination 1 cent, encircled by an open wreath of 2 olive branches, tied with a bow. United States of America surrounds the wreath, and the fraction 1/100 is between the ends of the bow. There were 3 varieties of each of these coins. They were known as type of 1794, type of 1795, or type of 1797. All 3 types were used on the reverse of the 1796 cents. Over 16 million Draped bust cents were minted between 1796 and 1807. The Draped bust design was replaced in 1808 with the introduction of the new classic head motif, by the new second engraver John Reich. The new design was concurrent with an improvement in die steel, allowing for the first time an unprecedented 300,000 impressions per working die. However, this series does not compare to the sharpness and quality to the previous cent designs or those struck after 1816. This was because the copper used was softer, having more metallic impurity, making the series more difficult to find in choice condition. That, and it's over 200 years old, so that could also have something to do with it. Reich's obverse design for the cent was a left-facing portrait of Liberty with curly hair tied with a headband inscribed Liberty. Miss Liberty is surrounded by 13 stars, 7 to the left and 6 to the right, with the date below, with the value 1 cent, within a continuous wreath. This, in turn, is encircled with the inscription United States of America. Production of the new design began in 1808 with just over 1 million pieces struck. A cent shortage developed the following year, and the mint ran out of planchets, but everything returned to normal in 1810. In 1815, there was a shortage of copper planchets, so no 1 cent coins were minted. It was caused by the War of 1812. This is the only year missing from U.S. coinage from 1793 to the present. The Coronet head cent was minted from 1836 to 1839. Since the mint opened and struck its first coins in 1793, it had been harshly criticized as an institution, and it had become increasingly sensitive to public ridicule. I'm glad to see nothing has changed in government. All the institutions are sensitive to ridicule, and they turn off comments on all their videos. Shocker! The government hasn't changed in 200 years. Shortly after the classic head had been introduced in 1808, critics pointed out that the hat on Liberty's head had not been worn by women in classical times, and the new Coronet design featured an enlarged head of Liberty, replacing the fillet holding the hair on the old Liberty, and she's wearing a coronet now. The word Liberty was added, and the relief, the reverse, was essentially unchanged, and it retained the Christmas wreath from the previous design. When new in 1816, the Coronet design represented the latest mint technology and design. But by 1839, both design and manufacturing methods were overtaken by the advent of the steam-powered coin press. New designs were the order of the day, and the old Coronet cent had passed into the quantedness of a bygone era. It was replaced by Christian Goldbach's braided hair design. During the 24 years of the Coronet design, the Philadelphia Mint had produced a total of 51,706,473 pieces. The braided hair cent. It was minted from 1839 to 1857. By 1839, the large cent fell out of favor, as with previous issues. The large cent had suffered ridicule since the beginning. The Coronet had nicknames describing Miss Liberty vividly to illustrate the public's disdain, from Liberty in a Fright to Fat Mistress to Obese Ward Boss. Every coin design had its own vulgar nickname for Liberty. The last cent, known as the braided hair cent, achieved greater uniformity than any of the earlier large cent designs. Introduction of steam power advances in hubbing, and the design got better, and they streamlined the minting process. The obverse is a bust portrait of Liberty wearing a coronet with the crown is inscribed as Liberty, and it's surrounded by the traditional 13 stars with the date below. The new set was introduced in 1839. It was modified slightly in 1843, and it continued in production until large copper cents were discontinued altogether by 1857. The coin coming up is the same size as a standard penny today. They reduced the size of the large cents about $0.50 to the pennies that we know today, and they have been the same size since this next coin. The first small cent is the Flying Eagle cent, the short-lived Flying Eagle cent. It only was minted from 1856 to 1858. As the value of the 1 cent coin dropped, so did Americans' tolerance of carrying around a bunch of heavy, large 1 cent coins in their pockets and their purses. As early as 1850, the mint gave serious thoughts as to replacing the large cents with a smaller coin to drive out foreign coins like the Spanish reals. In 1857, Congress directed the United States Mint to produce smaller 1 cent coins made of both copper and nickel, while the large old pennies had been constructed of copper alone. These new pennies would be 88% copper and 12% nickel. The Mint Act of 1857 was signed on February 21st, and it abolished the copper half cent. It also abolished the large cent, and that same Mint Act abolished the 2 cent piece, the 3 cent piece, and the half dime. The Mint used the copper nickel, and it made them look brighter. This American penny features a flying eagle on one side and a wreath on the other, earning it the nickname Flying Eagle cent. Unlike older, larger versions of the American penny, it was about the same size as today's coins. After 64 years, the old large cent was replaced by the Flying Eagle small cent, and it was released to the public in exchange for old coppers and Spanish silver. Personally, I would have kept them all, but I wasn't alive back in the 1850s, so there was nothing I could do for people who decided to trade in their old coins. On May 25th at 9 a.m., the Mint opened to a crowd of over 1,000 eager Philadelphians with their bags of small change, waiting to exchange their old coins for the new shiny issues. The demand was so great that many resold their new coins on the steps of the Mint to make a profit within minutes of receiving them. Once the U.S. Mint began issuing the first of these small cents, there were real interest in collecting the contemporary U.S. coinage. Like the new Flying Eagle cent, the older cents were now in only two. They started making coin grades. The new coin grades were old, new, and used. Designed by James B. Longhair, the Flying Eagle motif was actually an adaptation of the design used on the pattern silver dollars 20 years before. The eagle had originally been drawn by Titan Pale and was sculpted by Christian Gobrecht. The reverse wreath was similarly adapted from the model Longhair had made for the 1854 $1 and $3 gold pieces. The Indian head penny. Now we're getting the pennies that I have shown on this channel. I have shown my Flying Eagle, and I have 1,000,000 Indian heads. They were minted from 1859 to 1909. and they replaced the Flying Eagle penny with a design that lasted for 50 years. Mint director James Ross Snowden selected the Indian head design, and Mint chief engraver James Barton Longhair designed the coin. The simplicity of the coin satisfied everyone. The Indian set depicts an Indian princess. A popular story about this design claims in the visit an Indian chief lent the designer's daughters he lent the designer's daughter his headdress so she could pose as the Indian princess model. Longhair's initials did not appear on the coin, but in 1864 he added a small L on Liberty's ribbon that remained on the ribbon through the end of the series. That is the complete history of the penny from the beginning of this country to right now. Nothing has really come of the penny since 2019. I'm sure the pandemic would have killed off a lot of future plans if there was any. But for now, 2019 is the latest update on the penny, and I'll be sure to keep you updated if any changes come to it. But it's probably going to be 50 years because the Indian head penny, the wheat penny, and the memorial cent were all around for 50 years. I see a bit of a pattern, but I'm not sure. I don't know what the future holds. All I know is this video has come to an end. I am the Conservative Coin Collector. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon. And until next time, I'm signing off. So long, everybody.